Welcome to the September 15th, 2025 meeting of the Arlington Redevelopment Board. My name is Rachel Zemberry. I am chair of the board, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. This evening, could I please ask the members of the Redevelopment Board to introduce themselves?
Steve Revelak.
Shayna Corman-Houston.
Ken Lowe.
Eugene Benson will not be joining us this evening. We also have joining us tonight the Director of the Department of Planning and Community Development, Claire Ricker.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see. So the first item on our agenda is the public hearing for docket number 3867 for 9 to 11 Robbins Road. And I understand that the applicant has asked for a continuance of the hearing to a date in November. So Claire, I will turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. Yes, we heard from the applicant for 9 to 11 Robbins Road. He is reworking the project and asked if we would hear him later. And we said that there was a spot available at the November 3rd meeting, and he agreed that he would be he would have his materials ready by before then.
Great. So I will turn it over to the board to see if there are any questions. I do, just double checking because I know we had a question about the timing last week. Perfect. So Steve, any questions or comments regarding the request for continuation?
None, Madam Chair.
Shayna?
None.
Ken?
None here.
All right. Is there a motion to continue the hearing for docket number 3867, 9 to 11 Robbins Road to November 3rd, 2025?
So motion.
Second.
We'll take a vote, starting with Steve.
Yes.
Shayna?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So we will continue the docket to November. That closes agenda item number 1. We'll now move to agenda item number 2, which is an update on the special permit for 455 Mass Ave and 882 to 892 Mass Ave, and I will turn it over to Director Ricker.
Great, thank you. For those of us who came particularly for the information on the Robbins Road piece, is
That's it. They were not prepared to present this evening, and so they asked us to move that date to November. So we are not going to be discussing that case this evening.
Are we going to get new cards?
I will ask Director Ricker to answer that question.
We don't generally send out legal notice for a continued hearing, but if you'd like to take my card, I'm happy to let you know when the project is going to come back in front. It will be on November 3rd, unless they request another continuance, but certainly I can keep folks abreast of where we are in the schedule.
We work with the applicants to set a date, and it is beyond our control if they are unable to meet the date that they have set. Thank you. Thank you.
And if they make changes to the overall plan, does that, do we get communicated about that, or is it up to us to apply?
You may check the site. Again, you may take a card from Director Ricker, and any updated plans will be posted with the agenda prior to the meeting on November 3rd. If they ask for another continuance, obviously that would move again, but as of now, we're looking at November 3rd.
So if you check our agenda before the meeting, if you check our agenda the evening of the meeting, it will say, the agenda will go up Thursday, but if you check the evening of, any changes to the agenda will absolutely be up in real time, so you don't get in your car unnecessarily.
Where is the agenda posted?
It is posted on the Redevelopment Board website. Okay, with that, we are going to move to agenda item number 2, which is the update on the special permits for 455 Mass Ave and 882 to 892 Mass Ave, and I will turn it over to Director Ricker.
Great, thank you. This board had asked...
Excuse me. Excuse me, there's a meeting going on right now. Can you step outside to talk, please?
Outside. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ken.
Sorry. This board has discussed on several occasions the project at 882 Mass Ave, to the point where we had gone over the draft of a letter to the developer at our meeting on July 14th. I have circulated the letter as amended. The board did go over the draft and suggested changes. A letter was sent to the developer as amended, especially as it relates to 882 Mass Ave. We received a response to that letter, which was shared with you all. And Attorney Doherty is here tonight to answer any of your questions or to explain any parts of the response that may need further explanation.
Great, thank you so much. If I can invite you, please, thank you. And what I'd like to do, thank you first of all for joining us this evening. I greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate the response to the letter. What I'd like to do is to turn it over to members of the board first for any questions you might have regarding the response that was received, and we will turn it first to Ken.
Thank you for the letter response. I do have a few questions for you here.
That's fine.
If we go to your letter that has to do with open space, you state there that due to the relocation of the building 7 feet back from its original drawn location, that you were not able to maintain your open space.
Well, there is open space there. It's just not as it's not as large as it was originally anticipated, and because of that, my client 882 to 892 Mass Ave LLC, they contacted their insurance agent just to find out what the requirements would be to have the gas grill at the back of the property. For example, that was one of the amenities that was listed in the special permit application. And because of the condensed space in the back, and because of the 10-foot requirement from the structure and, lot line and just the density back there, there was no spot that they could put the gas grill. At one point, they did have the picnic table in the back, but the first floor residential tenant complained because they felt that it was too close to their windows and they felt that it was invasive. So that they still have the picnic table. It's in storage, but they fear if they put it back in that same spot, that the first floor tenant would just complain again. So unfortunately, even though that was one of the conditions, they just weren't able to meet that. If you have any other suggestions for other outdoor amenities that might fit in that space, they would certainly entertain that as like a new condition, I guess. But at this time, the picnic table, because of the, again, condensed space, and the gas grill with the fire requirements, they're just not plausible.
I appreciate your explanation there, and my question is more toward when we set a condition for the approval, it doesn't mean that you can pick and choose what conditions you choose to ignore. And so let's say we asked, I'm not sure where the building got pushed back, okay? I have to look back at our notes, okay? But if the building was requested to be pushed back because to meet zoning requirements, that has nothing to do with open space, has nothing to do with location of mechanical equipment or a whole list of other things that you are citing because the building was pushed back. The fact that the building was pushed back was to meet certain requirements, and that's only it for that requirement there. You cannot, it was not saying, okay, you can pick and choose other requirements to not follow. And when that happens, and you cannot make it work, we're willing to work with you, but you guys did not come back to us and say, there's an issue here that's developed. Okay, it was just left alone. Like, we chose not to ignore this because it doesn't work anymore. And that's what we bring, that's my question is this. There's other things that your client has somewhat rectified right now. One was they chose to pick a different storefront color than what was approved. And then we were told that that was an architect's mistake, and they would fix that, and they would just paint it. But the building's been open for I don't know how many years now, and it's still not painted. And I keep on hearing things. Oh, we submitted colors. Staff here saying that just because they say they don't have colors, or there's something that's going around here that we're questioning. How come this can't be done? All right. So if you have submitted some colors, okay, let's see it.
The color swatches are attached to the letter.
Those are in the letter. It was a light bronze, medium bronze, and dark bronze.
Yes.
And again, because of the aluminum material that was used on the front of the building, there's not a lot of options and not a lot of choices for color. And those 4 swatches are the swatches of the bronze. And again, once the colors are selected, if you want, they can definitely put it on a new rendering and submit it to you to make sure that you approve the color. If not, if you just want to approve it, they will get a painter out within 2 weeks to paint it. They just want someone to approve the color so that they can continue on and finish up.
Do we have an original of the letter with the swatch colors, actual swatch colors?
I attached them to my letter. The original renderings, as I state in my letter, the original renderings only had generic colors, and they didn't have specific paint choices in the original renderings that were submitted. When I look
at this right here, okay?
Yep.
There's 3 colors here, and it lists what color it is. It's very hard for me to tell what the actual color is. Did you actually submit samples?
John Murphy, who's the project manager, actually submitted samples. I took the color swatches and made color copies to submit for you. If you pick a color and you want a rendering, we can certainly do that so you can see what it's going to look like.
I'm not even asking for renderings right now. I'm just asking for the swatches.
The swatches were submitted to the board on August 26th,
The board has never seen
2024.
the swatches.
Okay.
So did they go to the planning department?
They were
The
submitted.
materials?
Received swatches for the 190, 192 Nassau building.
So perhaps he's mistaken. If the planning department doesn't have the samples, they certainly have not been submitted to the board. So what I would ask for you to do, please,
Okay.
is to have the project manager resubmit. The board does not have the samples.
Okay.
We can select the color very easily from
Okay.
light bronze, medium bronze, and dark bronze as soon as we have those color samples.
Okay, I will have him resubmit them. He did send me an email where he was submitting them, and they were for this project. But again, there are so many emails going back and forth with these projects. I can see, and there are 3 projects going
We're
on at the
letting you
same
know
time.
that is how we will make a decision. We need to see the samples, and we can make a very quick decision. But they
Okay.
have to get from the planning department to the board.
I will get you those.
If you told us you had them for 192, not for 882, are they the same colors?
If it's mistaken and that's the issue, then, I mean, you did see those swatches.
Let's have them submit the correct one so that there's no mistake.
We will resubmit the
you.
882 swatches.
Thank you.
And then going to the compressor. We were never told about the compressor that's on the side of the building. And you're telling me it's because the building was pushed back.
Again, the compressor needed to be relocated to the outside of the building because the only other option, because again, the square footage of the building shrunk when it was moved back, the only location could either be on the roof, but that would have been too far to cool the commercial tenants on the first floor. So that's why it was moved to the side of the building. I think some of the disconnect here between this board, and again, I'm sure it's my client's fault, was that they submitted the original renderings that went to the ARB. You had multiple meetings about this project. You prepared, your order with conditions in it. And then construction plans were created. They were sent to the building department. And it seems from your process that what should have happened is my client should have come back in front of the board and discussed all of these different issues that might differ from what was on those original renderings that were submitted. And one of them was this compressor. So the compressor's actually been there since, the construction started. And again, they are trying to make amends now so that you're happy with how the exterior of the building looks. And I have submitted photographs of the grate. If that's not satisfactory, we can certainly come up or try a different option so that you're satisfied with how it looks, and the function of the HVAC system will work so that the first floor is cooled.
When I looked at that compressor, essentially it's a heat pump. And all it is refrigerant lines. Runs from the cooling unit outside. And our concern is that, that we weren't told about it and you just went ahead and did it. And it differed from the approved drawings. Two, the way it's built right now, you're leaving your client open for ADA litigation because the thing sticks out more than 4 inches. All right, there's no guard for a handicappers because it overlaps the sidewalk. We would have mentioned that to your client if they brought it to us. It's not under our jurisdiction to say right or wrong, but we would give, we're here to help the developers, not here to, stop them from developing. I encourage them to, but we want to do it within standards that we have set forth. So that fan is blowing right across the property line. And since it's so close to the property line, it's blowing across the adjacent property line, would be a nuisance. If someone had a big fan coil blowing right into across your property, that would be an issue. Those are the things we watch out for. So I would like to talk about having instead of we're not going to come up with ideas of how to fix things. We're just going to approve what some of your resolutions may be to fix these problems.
So Ken, they did provide a photograph of a potential solution, which is the grate. This is at a photograph of where this was installed in a different property, but it would be a similar, is my understanding.
It was my understanding that that's exactly what it would look like. It was actually like a rendering that was done using the building.
Yeah. So do you have any feedback on the proposed louver? I do agree with you that there is a cane detection issue with the projection from the building. Do you have other feedback for the solution that they've already provided?
Yeah, that blows air right across the setback to the property line to the adjacent neighbor. I don't know enough about that louver there. Does that deflect enough of the air so it doesn't blow into? That picture to me doesn't do enough right now. I need a better understanding. Is that louver going to direct the air so it goes down to the ground, or directs it so it goes up to the air, so it's not going horizontally across? Because And, and you're gonna have to work with the manufacturer of them to see will that work, because that looks really, really tight to the compressor that's there already. That's not there right now.
No, this is a rendering that
Of
they
another
did
project.
of what the proposed solution would look like.
Of another project.
That's what it appears to be.
Yeah,
It
it's not-
appears to, it is not a render, it appears to be a photo of a similar application from another project.
Yes. So, we just need a little more work on that, okay?
So what is the specific ask that you have?
What they're gonna have to do with, if there's any ADA considerations, they should look into that. We're not gonna make a ruling on that. But, the fact that it's blowing air
So
adjacent,
address how the proposed solution mitigates the airflow issue.
airflow and then sound. We have zoning saying that from the property line, has to be so many decibels. I don't have it off the top of my head right now, what those decibels ratings need to be. So it doesn't, so you're not hearing this whizzing of this fan going across.
Okay, so you would like them to address how the proposed solution mitigates airflow and any sound
Correct.
concerns.
And then when it goes to the open space, I would like to get the proper amount of square footage there and what you want to do about that. And as far as amenities, if you have other amenities besides the grill because it's too close, we're welcome to listen to that. Okay? Now, as far as the picnic table is concerned, that could be one, but you might have to come up with some sort of screen wall to make your first floor tenants happy. I'm not saying not to ignore them. I think that's important. But you can't just say it's because they say they don't like it there, we're not going to do it.
And again, they've kept the picnic table
That's fine,
because
yes.
they understood that this, potentially could be an issue.
And then some of the under some of the windows on the storefront along the front, the foundation underneath the windows looks like there was never any finish there. All it is exposed concrete block.
Under the storefront framing.
Correct. I don't think that was the intent. You're probably your owner probably wants something from the contractor saying they own the total building. I mean, I think it's exposed concrete block, which is not waterproof. So there's there might be some water mitigation going through there when the snow loads against it, but it doesn't look right.
It looks like it's still under construction.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will, that wasn't one of the issues that was raised in the letter, so I will definitely bring it back to my client.
I thought it was. Wasn't it on the letter?
It says color of trim painting, address areas of paint that are peeling.
No, then there was something about CMU stem wall or soccer wall. I remember saying something like that.
I know you said something like that, I'm not sure.
Well, irregardless. okay.
I will have my clients address that.
It's only good for your client. I'm not. These things are not saying
Yeah.
is not. It means making your hurting your client here.
Okay, no. I appreciate your comments, thank you.
Also, I noticed that a lot of the paint on the exterior of the building was painted over some of the trim work and some of the fascias because the architect decided to go with a different color that was approved by the board at the end of the meeting. The paint is peeling and chipping along the fascia there. That just looks like it's, I don't know what it looks like. It looks like house paint that doesn't look right. So I would like them to address that because it just it looks like an old
It's a new
building.
Right. It shouldn't, and again, when the redevelopment board asked for the trim to be repainted, the expectation and the promise that John sat here and made to us was that the correct application would be made to ensure a strong adherence and that it would be a like new application?
As soon as the paint selections are made, I brought this up to my client as far as chipping and just not good wear, right? And they will have everything repainted once they get the paint crew out there to apply the new aluminum paint.
Thank you. And then the last thing is, you submitted a light plan.
Yes.
It's very hard for me to read because the light plan that we wanted was more for how the lights are applied to the parking lot in the back. Because when we walk back there to look at things, some of the lights are just aimed toward the sidewalk. It's aimed off to the side. It doesn't seem to have a way of aiming toward the field of parking.
I will.
So, if you can ask, I guess you had Zaid Engineering
Yes.
do the lighting plan.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Could we have them do it of the parking lot and then show the boundaries of where the where the property is and where the parking striping is and where the parking field is? They just did the outline of the building and did the lighting around the building. You got to go back to where the parking spaces are, where the fence is, where the property line is, so we can see what kind of, are any of those lights flashing onto neighbors or not? And then make sure that the lights that they're installing right now is per to the lighting plan, because it doesn't jive right now, okay?
Okay, I will have them, I will have Zaid update the plan, and I will have either John or one of their contractors go out and check all the lights to make sure that they're aimed and either downturned or done whatever the plan states that they should be. So they're in compliance. They're installed correctly, they're working correctly, and they're aimed correctly.
Correct. I will pass this on to the rest of my board members for now. I think those are the major stuff I had right now.
Great. Thank you very much, Ken. Shayna?
Thank you. So I was hoping that you could take me through sort of the timeline a little bit from the approval at this board through the beginning of construction. Like, what happened with the 7 feet? Or how is it that the building ended up moving and that the board didn't know about it, and were there approval? What can you talk me through the timeline there?
I wasn't involved with the project at that time, but from my understanding is that plans were submitted and then it was a requirement that they move the building back 7 feet because they wanted to have more of a sidewalk in front of the building. So they had original renderings, they had to change all of the renderings, and when they did that, it moved it back and shrank the building.
So can I ask, who was it who wanted them to move the building?
I'm not sure, but it was somehow during the whole planning process that it was moved back. I don't know exactly on whose order or why it was done, but I do know that there were a couple of original renderings that were done that weren't approved, and again, then whether it was this board or the planning department or someone wanted to have a larger, I want to say sidewalk in front, because there was another mixed-use building that was built close by, and there wasn't enough, I guess, sidewalk space. So that's why the building was moved back. But again, I wasn't here during that, so what I am hearing is, I guess, secondhand.
Okay. I was not on the board, and so I'm trying to piece together how it is that, the board would have requested a change and then not sort of looked at the holistic package resulting from that change. That does not seem like something this board and my colleagues would would typically have done, and so I'm a little bit at a loss here.
Well, I actually serve on my zoning board for my town, and I do know that, you can have multiple plans done, drawn up. There can be many, many hearings. Obviously, you want public support, public approval, and public comment on all of these. And it's not unusual for a building or project to start with one set of plans and over the span of 6, maybe 8 months, have it almost completely change. It's just the nature of it. Communities want certain buildings to kind of fit in, and sometimes developers, I'm not saying this developer, but I've been sitting on that side where it's like the bigger the better, and you kind of have to pare it back, move it back. There's always there's always compromise that's made during these hearings, because the community wants one thing and maybe the developer has a different vision of the project. So it's not really unusual.
So I just want to state that there was no relief granted for open space, meaning that when this was approved by the board, the open space requirements were in effect.
Yeah. So, thank you, Rachel. That's helpful, and I am sympathetic to your point. I am a developer myself, but it's concerning to me that it is concerning to me that your client, who continues to work in this town, would move forward on a plan that I believe is not what this board intended for them to move forward with. I think Ken covered most of my specific concerns to be addressed at this time. I'm not entirely certain how some of those things can be addressed, the open space in particular, usable open space in particular, and hopefully your client can be creative on that front. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Steve?
Regarding the hearings for this project predate my time on the board, but I did attend several of them, and my recollection, and which could be wrong, I'll give myself a coin toss, was that the board requested that the building be moved back. I mean, we could, looking at the plans that were actually approved or the final renderings had submitted would, I think, confirm or refute that, but I would be I'm doubtful of this having been a post-approval change.
Again, whether the building was moved back before or after, it was certainly not without the usable open space as intended.
All right, but in terms of the responses to the letter, I appreciate the the detailed layout of the bike parking, and I'm okay with the appearance of the proposed grate over the heat pump compressor. Thank you.
Thank you. My only question that we haven't already covered this evening is regarding the signage application and the removal or the replacement with a more appropriate window covering for the areas for which the applicant has requested a relief for the transparency requirements. When will that be coming in front of the board? And that's a question for the planning department.
They are scheduled to come in on October 6th.
Thank you very much. So we'll certainly review that application at that time. Any other items? And I'll just run through the items that we have identified as a follow-up to this meeting. Submit swatches of the 3 potential bronze paint colors for the storefront to the ARB through the planning department for selection. We will ask the developer to identify how they intend to address the foundation that is exposed underneath the storefront framing in terms of installing the final finish over the exposed concrete block. Come back to us with a point of view on the ADA issue with the projection from the wall for the compressor, as well as how the proposed solution mitigates the airflow and sound concerns. Update the lighting plan to show the site as well as the existing lighting with the that accurately reflect how the lighting is aimed and taking into account the spill across property lines, and rather than putting it on this board, to create a use for the usable open space, the owner to come back with a proposed use for the existing usable open space which is on the site. Anything else?
That touched on 882. Were we going to talk about 455?
I do have one more bit
Yes.
about 882. Although I wasn't on the board, I did take notes of that from some of those hearings. And on July, for staff and the board and my colleagues who'd like to go back and revisit minutes, it looks like the hearing on July 20th, 2020, John Murphy talks about, there's discussion between John, Gene, and Kin about, the building having been moved back and some of the other changes that were necessitated because of that.
Great.
So July 20th, 2020, possibly the hearing before as well.
But I don't believe moving the building, we said, oh, we'll give you relief on the following.
Well, that I don't, since I'm looking this stuff up on the fly, that I cannot say, but I'm just providing a date point of reference for further research.
Irrespective, the building is not moving now, and
Yes.
the open space needs to be properly programmed. Thank you. Anything else?
Yes, the 455. Were we going to talk about that or not?
I don't have any agenda item related to that.
Okay.
Claire, do you have anything specific for 445?
I don't have anything specific for 455. The agenda item does say update on special permits for 455 Mass Ave and 882 to 892 Mass Ave. This board has not, officially, we haven't had a conversation about, an official conversation or written a letter to the developer about our concerns, about your concerns with the building. There are some outstanding issues we're aware of. There are some issues related to the historic, generally the historic, I can't think of the word, excuse me, the historic
Commission?
aspects of the building, as well as certain permissions that may have been granted by the historic board.
Ken, did you have something specific?
Well,
I didn't ask for that to be included this evening, so if you have something specific.
then let's table that for now, but we should reconvene to bring up something about issues about that too, and make the developer aware of that, because I don't think it's good to let them keep on going without knowing that we have issues here.
Here, so I think just a general statement there for if there are elements that are not compliant with what this board approved, the developer does need to come back before construction continues moving forward to identify what those differences are so that they can be reviewed by this board. So if they are moving forward with something that has not been approved by this board, they need to come back and discuss it with this board.
At this time, the only, I think, issue from the developer standpoint is they want to finish the exterior of the building. They have received all of the historical approvals for the materials that have been used on the exterior, and they were just hoping to have approval by this board so that they could finish that up. I did suggest to my client that before they contact Mr. Champer for their final inspection, before the CO is issued, that they make a complete list of all the conditions that were delineated in the order and make sure that everyone has been complied. And if there are any issues that Mr. Champa has or any issues that they have, that we discuss it before the inspection even takes place. I did notice, I also read the minutes for all of the hearings after, I believe, December of 2023, just to kind of get a sense of what was going on with the board, and to see kind of what the issues were that were coming up with this project. And I did remember that you had made the suggestion that Mr. Champa have a list of these conditions before he signs off and issues a certificate of occupancy. And I told my client the same thing, that you need to do that to make sure that everything has been complied, so we don't have these issues after construction's been completed.
I appreciate that. Thank you for your support in that realm. I think that the other item as well is to review the facade as it was approved in elevation. There are window lines, so there's fenestration, openings, detailing that is not, that as I have observed the building, and again, I know it's continued to be under construction, that it is not in alignment with what was approved by this board, specifically on the upper story. So if that is not moving, which Ken, I believe is your concern as
That
well.
and also, yeah, that and some of the window openings along the front,
Yeah, the fenestration along the
on
front.
the ground floor, and then the actual brick color.
So again, if there are items that differ from what was reviewed and approved by this board, we do need that to come back in front of this board, or again, it's not in compliance then with the special permit that was granted.
Okay. All right, I will obviously bring this up to my clients.
Thank you.
And I will have them either tell me or show me how it is in compliance so that I can notify you, or if it's not, I guess have another rendering drawn so that, or put it back the way it should be.
Yeah, we'll have to have a discussion at that point. So let's not project the ifs. Let's just
Okay.
figure out where we are today.
Very good.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good.
Here's one note I want to say, that the historic board does not have jurisdiction over the redevelopment board. Okay, so what we approve, what we state, they have no authority to countermand that.
I understand that. I serve on my Preservation Commission too, but I just wanted to let you know that a component of this is that there's a historical aspect. So not only do they need your approval, but they also need their approval as well.
Correct.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So with that, that concludes our second agenda item, and we'll now move to open forum. So if anyone joining us this evening wishes to address the board, please raise your hand. Seeing no one, we will close open forum and move to new business. Claire, do you have any new business this evening?
Yes, I have some new business related to the comprehensive plan update, and that is that our second major public event related to this project will be, we've determined a date of October 30th for the meeting, and it'll be again in Arlington High School cafeteria, which is a beautiful venue. And we would hope that you would let your friends and neighbors know that this is going on, and that we'd like them to attend. In the meantime, we are currently conducting activities with focus groups related to some planned topics, including housing, transportation. We're looking at historic and cultural resources. One of the other topic areas that the plan covers is land use. I would like to make a presentation to the board about where we are in terms of our land use conversation, either in one of the October meetings before our big public event. But I just wanted to let the board know that this project continues, and we're moving forward.
Great, thank you very much. Ken, any new business?
No.
Sheena?
Nothing.
Steve?
Nothing this week.
Great. So with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So motioned.
I'll take one of those as a second.
I motioned, I can't.
Second.
Well, you both motioned at the same time. That's
Oh.
why I said one of
Oh.
you just converted.
Okay.
Okay.
I
I
didn't
convert
hear
to a second.
Yes.
Sheena?
Yes.
Ken?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.